Hello and welcome to another update video on Bitcoin. I want to take a moment and take a look here at the shorter time frame chart. There is no change on the bigger picture, larger time frame. We continue to move in the range. I mean, yesterday you might have heard it. Yesterday, there's been a decision in the U.S., basically a court ruling, that those tariffs Trump introduced or proposed, well, they were deemed kind of unlawful, so they were stopped, and it was a small catalyst. Yeah, it was a small catalyst to drive prices higher, specifically in the stock market. Yeah, we saw the Nasdaq go up a little bit. We've seen the S&P go up a little bit. Yeah, it was a catalyst. Just when that news came, that news event happened, was a catalyst for the ES futures and the Nasdaq futures to push higher. Bitcoin has also reacted, but really not in very meaningful ways. So I've already communicated earlier today on Discord that my view is that we might be in a wave 2 here, corrective bounce in wave 2 in our corrective pattern here that we've been tracking. The only resistance area really I can offer here within the range is currently between $108,333 and $109,900. So this is a standard resistance zone for this wave 2 corrective bounce. It's also only a 3-wave move up so far. Could it turn into something more bullish? Of course it could. Then if it breaks above resistance, it's likely going to be seen as a B-wave bounce. So it would be a more directly bullish count, but again, it would just be a B-wave. Currently, we can see this top here as B-wave on Tuesday, the 27th of May in the white scenario. But if we push above resistance, it becomes more probable that this B-wave extends. So that this is basically what the orange B-wave is for. This B-wave will move here. They can always extend. I mean, we haven't had any follow through to the downside, right? And because we haven't had any follow through to the downside, we could technically still be in the B-wave because we're still ranging. Okay, there's no evidence that this B-wave actually topped. That would have been a break below the previous low. So that's why I have these lines on the chart, the horizontal support and resistance lines, because they tell us how long, are we still in the range or not? Again, we are still in the range. So what can I say? I mean, we are currently testing resistance. There's a small rejection, but we are still moving in choppy ways in the range. So range boundaries remain fully intact for now. Range boundaries remain respected. And then obviously we do our best to identify structures, you could say, within the range. But that's not very productive. I do it mainly for educational purposes, because trading within the range is obviously... Elliott Wave is a trend trading system, right? It's not even a trading system. Elliott Wave is a method to understand trends, to understand parameters within trends. When you have a sideways range, I mean... Thanks so much for watching the videos on this YouTube channel. If you've been thinking about joining MCO as a member, now might be a great time. You can use the link in the video description and apply the discount code right below it. You will get 50% off your first month of our Gold membership, and you can explore everything we offer. It's the easiest way to test the membership, see if it's a good fit for you, and get a feel for the community, join the conversation, and I'm looking forward to meeting you in our member area. It's just not so productive, okay? I mean, it's productive in the sense, yes, we get the range boundaries, invalidation points, but it's not necessarily helpful to really predict every wave within a range. No method can really, right? It's more about understanding also here, what are the range boundaries, what are the parameters. What can help is, if we get a clear 5-wave move in the range. Yesterday, for example, on the Ethereum chart, we saw a micro 5-wave move up, followed by a 3-wave corrective pullback. Yeah, and I mean, that was a signal. Ethereum has shown us a 1-2 setup, which played out today, but only on the nano level. I mean, volatility is really, really low at the moment. So, I mean, in both yellow and white scenarios, the market could decline more directly. This is basically short-term bearish potential, wave 1 or wave A to the downside. I wouldn't even distinguish between them to keep it simple. Then this is a wave 2 or a B wave. So we had 5 waves down, 3 waves up. And maybe this is another 1-2 set up to the downside. Whether that's a 1-2 in wave 3 in yellow or in wave C in white is secondary for now. Doesn't make a difference. In both scenarios, this is an area to watch for potential downside resolution here. Now, but what if we don't see a reaction to this resistance area? I mean, yes, we have a small reaction to the 50% retracement there right now, but it's not really a super meaningful reaction there. So we have to consider, what would happen if, for example, we break out to the upside. What if we break above that resistance zone? And I can tell you that if we break above that resistance zone, it opens the door to a test of the upper range boundary around 112K. Again, as you know, B waves can even overshoot, but that wouldn't necessarily be super likely here. So we might just test the upper range boundary around 112K. Would it be any meaningful movement? Not really. Again, we do it also for educational purposes because, technically this B wave, it could even be that this wave 2 extends. So it just means that if we break above resistance, the top here was likely not the top. It will likely be taken out. And then it will most likely be a B wave because for a wave 2, it will be a little bit too high. Okay, that's what's the reasoning behind this. If we get any downside follow through here, then this would be a confirmation. Any break, below that last swing low here around 106,700 would be a good indication that we've started the next downside move. But the bears and the bulls are fighting. It's just crazy. The bears and bulls are fighting. It shows you how important this range is. That's just, always think about what does it mean, that we see this price action in the range. It's a very, very meaningful price range. Very meaningful juncture for the price action over the next couple of weeks or so. People will ask, is there no direct breakout scenario from here? I mean, there is probably, but it wouldn't be among the most likely scenarios now. That might change if we get a decisive break above resistance. And we might talk about that in the next video. I mean, you can always, if you want to trade higher directly, I mean, on our daily chart, you have the key support area that I would recommend everybody uses. But I mean, if you want to trade this in the short term, I mean, you can just set the stop below those previous lows. Okay, that's always possible, but it's just not a very, very clear Elliott Wave setup. Just because double bottoms, triple bottoms are eventually, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes taken out. So yeah, unfortunately, quite a slow day in the sector. That's okay, but what I want to highlight here, we have some small movement in the range, but we don't even have any change in the wave count. So it's currently playing out just according to the count. I know we don't necessarily make progress, but all the scenarios still valid, nothing invalidated. So I'll keep you updated. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.